Bananas, 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 bananas. Welcome, everybody,
to the Banana Show.
We got a special episode. And
who was that?
Why is it special? Who's that guy we got? Introduce yourself.
What? Oh, me.
Stop playing that recorder.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's you.
Oh,
yes, it is.
Who's that cracking the yerba mate?
It's the Yerba Boy. We got the Yerba Boy on this episode.
Yerba Boy. What a great alliteration. Yeah, thanks for having me on.
What's your name?
Oh, that would be a good piece of information. I am Scott Dunning, and well, let me tell you about what I do. I guess I'm a guitarist first, and just overall music maker, music recorder.
Well, I mean, we did see your recorder talents a couple seconds ago, so.
Oh.
Yeah, that was dope.
You are definitely a music recorder.
Okay, you have me there. I was thinking about, like, recording music. Just at all, generally. But
a recording artist.
Oh, okay, that's the thing.
He's a recorder artist. Okay, now I get it.
Recording, yeah, pretty sick.
Yeah, I think I'm close.
Yeah, and this happens to be the guy who made that sick little intro song that we put at the beginning. Even though that doesn't necessarily define everything.
That's the only thing I've ever done.
It's just a cute little song.
Yeah.
He is known for Good For You, the podcast intro song.
Yeah. Yes, totally.
And there's a little story behind that. Did you want to tell us why you made that?
Yeah. Do you know the story completely?
I didn't know there was a story.
What I have heard is that you made it for the Whitney Cummings podcast.
Oh, totally.
And sent it to them.
Yeah. So, dude, so funny. So I was just hyped on, like, having I think I had, like, just a nice setup in this exact room that I'm in right now for, like, recording drums and guitar. And I was like, man, I just want to record something. I didn't have any material to, like, begin an album or a project of any sort, but I just wanted to make something. And I really was liking that Whitney Cummings podcast at the time. Good For You. It's still going on.
Oh, shit. I thought that was just the name of the song.
No, I'm sorry. It's literally called that.
No, that's even
okay.
better.
No, dude, I've come across, like... You know what's funny is when you look up on Spotify, like, oh, I want to find the song, like, Blackbird by the Beatles, and then you find, like, some Brazilian guy has made another song called Blackbird, and you're like, oh, he made a cover of Blackbird, but it's actually like a EDM stupid
Yeah, that's
thing.
when you forget to change the song after you're done listening to Blackbird, and just get all the weird ass crazy versions of all the songs you wanted to listen to.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, people name songs the same thing, so it's chilling for you guys. But yeah, I made it for them, and I was like, all right. So yeah, it took like an hour, and I just kind of busted out some epic, smooth sort of jazz going on, like 30 seconds long or something. Oh, and especially it's because, oh my god, okay, this is what bums me out. Is because Whitney Cummings on her podcast said, like, she was like, man, I kind of hate our intro music. We should probably change that. Let's do a formal thing of, like, or a formal informal of asking, like, our audience to maybe bring in like their own music for our podcast intro. Mm-hmm. So I remember hearing that, like, 20 minutes after the video was uploaded. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to be the first one to send something in. And it was kind of informal what she said. And then they just kind of moved on with the conversation. But I was like, yeah, like their current music intro is just the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. So I'm going to make something cool. And by the way, their music intro, and sorry to spend so much time on this, but their music intro sounds like a 2010
One, A Space Odyssey.
No, no. Yeah. It's just a chorus. Just yeah, and then a chorus of like. Ooh. No,
but go ahead.
I was gonna say it sounds like a 2010 iTouch app game like menu song. You know, just like really bouncy and stupid. Anyway, sorry.
I'm about to play like Cut the Rope. Maybe some fruit intro.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Anyways, I sent it in. I found an email on the website. It was the only email to find. I sent it in once, and I waited like a week. I didn't get any response. I sent it in again. I said, just in case you didn't get this, because anyone who would get this would want this, because I'm such an egomaniac.
Oh my god.
Just kidding.
Like a follow-up?
Yeah, the follow-up. And so I sent it in a second time, and then I got a response pretty shortly after that, and the guy was like, oh, I'm not even the right person to send this to, but I'll forward this to the producer. Thanks. And I was like, oh, sick. Thanks. And then it's been like months, and they still have the same stupid iTouch phone app menu song as their intro. And
Bro,
you know what?
We're so lucky we snagged it.
Yeah,
yes.
I think I'm done with Whitney Cummings at this point.
Me too, TBH.
She did my man Scott dirty, and I just can't stand behind that.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Whoa.
No,
she's never gonna watch this.
To be super fair though, I have sort of lost interest, at least temporarily, in her podcast, and so I'm happy. I'm seriously happy it's gone to you guys, because it was just in the ether for a little bit there.
Yeah, we're appreciating it.
It's a catchy song,
unlike Whitney Cummings.
Heck yeah.
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 Why don't we transition into
Whitney Cummings?
Some more serious musical topics for you, because I have some questions prepared. If you don't mind.
I would love it.
We got questions for the man, Scott Dunham.
The man. So, how many albums have you made?
Oh, that's a funny one.
Because your Spotify is so dense, and I looked at how many albums you have on Spotify and compared it to the King Crimson discography, which is pretty dense, and you have more albums than King Crimson.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm on his
Legit.
Bandcamp right now, and it's a lot of scrolling. It's a good finger workout.
Yeah. You know what's okay though is the way, at least the way all the platforms work is when you click on discography, it shows the most recent works first, and you can scroll down to go to the past, albums and whatever.
Yeah.
And personally, I always want people to listen to the most recent thing, because that's what I'm personally most excited about. Yeah. So maybe, if you want to scroll, definitely scroll, but you don't have to. You can just click on that first thing you see, which is probably what I'm most hyped about at the moment. Yeah, dude. So
that's what you would want people to listen to first, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like the most recent evolution of my creative work.
Well, it's just like represents you best in the current moment.
That's exactly it. Yeah, yeah, totally. So how many albums do I have? It's kind of a trick question. Not saying you meant it to be a trick question. I should say it's a tricky question, because I've released a lot of like 2 or 3 or 4 song little EPs,
Yeah, but a lot of those, each track is like 30 minutes. It's like Steroids by Death Grips. It's like a song album.
Like a Godspeed You
so
album
that
or
doesn't
something.
count as a single to me.
That's true. A lot of that stuff was me kind of getting my grip on just recording music in high school, during high school. because I had like a pretty funny setup doing just a digital. Oh, I have it right here. The Tascam. This exact Tascam handheld recorder. I'll do some ASMR for the.
Yeah. This is only for us right now. The audience can't see this. This is some exclusive content.
Yeah, totally. But this thing, I used to use this in high school for like putting it right in front of the drum set, or maybe like a yard in front of the drum set or something, recording that, and then just like maybe recording stupid guitar over it and just throwing it out there on Bandcamp within like a day. So I have a lot of random stuff like that. So on Bandcamp, I don't know. I think the number's like 101 or something like that.
I just counted, and it was 102. So very close.
No.
I know. I heard like the 100 and something. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get it. The madman.
Oh man.
You're trash.
I guess last time I counted was before I uploaded Stunt, Tactile Strike and Submerge, the best album name of all time.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to talk about that album. By the way,
I did like the album name in every song title.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that later in depth.
Let me for 10 seconds finish up this thought. On Spotify, when I started uploading music on Spotify, once I felt actually the first thing I put up on Spotify was Tornio, which I recorded.
Oh, I want to talk about that a little bit as well.
Okay, we can. Okay, I won't even give too many details at this current moment about Tornio, but I will say that was the first thing I uploaded onto Spotify, and I think that was a nice marker for like a somewhat professional sound for myself. You know, that was a good like starting point to start releasing music on Spotify, kind of taking my music and my recordings a little more seriously, you know. So since Tornio on like Spotify and iTunes, there's probably like 20 releases or something like that. I don't know.
Right.
Are you working on a new one
but
currently?
But Bandcamp is going to be a little more dense. Sorry. Go ahead.
Who said what?
Are you working on any new albums currently? Is there another album coming along? Because it seems like you're always
the
working.
answer is yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes. Yeah, and that's exactly why I'm gonna head to Guitar Center right after this, is because I have my eye on a couple pieces of gear that might help me with my current vision, which is more guitar-based stuff, but at the same time, always trying to be experimental about it, you know, in some shape or form.
There's a running joke with Scott where I never ask if he's working on an album. I just ask, how's the album going?
Yeah, that was...
Because there's never a time
I noticed that
where you're not working on an album.
I noticed that the first time you did that, and I thought it was funny and not at all a bad thing, because I definitely keep it going. And part of the reason why I keep it going so much, you know, I'll work on something, release it, and just get back to work, is because I realize I feel best when I'm have a project to be working on. The moment I release it, it's like it feels like okay, this is gonna be a horrible metaphor, because I am not a parent or a mother that had been pregnant before, but it feels like, okay, like this baby is like I'm birthing this baby over the course of so much time. I'm so excited for it, and then it comes out and you're like, okay, cool, and then you give it to the world
and
to
then
enjoy.
You leave it on the corner,
and then you put it on Bandcamp. You
leave it at the firehouse.
You put it on Bandcamp or the Firehouse, and then just start working on the next baby.
102 albums and counting, the TV show.
Oh yeah.
That that's pretty good.
Yeah. That kind of goes into one of the questions I had prepared, was that do you ever worry? Because a lot of bands, they come out with one album or one EP or whatever, and they only worry about those songs for like a year or so, and they focus on promoting that. But do you ever worry that you don't spend enough time promoting a certain album, or that releasing so many albums will make it hard to get into your music?
So I have, yeah, I do worry about that because I obviously want to get my music out there. But I've come to the conclusion over this quarantine time, this COVID time, that the best way to advertise my music is to play live. And so I really want to go on a tour, either solo or maybe as a duo with a drummer, or maybe a small group or something, doing some epic live shows, maybe up the West Coast or something, when we're able to. I think that's the best way to. I mean, okay, I don't have much experience with touring, but just with all the people I've talked to and everything I've heard, I feel like that may be the best way to get the word out there. On the other side of that, there's the social media thing. And dude, the freaking gimmicks these people, put on their social media to advertise one song over the course of like 4 years is really annoying to me. I'm happy people are creative and they're trying to get the word out there. But dude, just the other day actually, like the first time I got on Instagram in a few weeks here, I got like a random direct message from some person. It was like, "Yo, check out my friend's music. You know, we noticed you follow a lot of similar accounts, so you should follow this account." And then the person who DM'd me was just a total fake account made by the person's music account. And it's like, and so I responded. I said, "That's a pretty cool." I don't think I used the word gimmick, but I'll say it here. I said maybe technique. I said that's a cool marketing technique, creating a fake account and DMing people to follow this other account.
That's like next level. Yeah.
And I didn't get a response. I said, "Oh, you know what I said? I said some words of encouragement. I said I said there's an audience for everyone, and so don't worry too much about, like freaking DMing randoms on Instagram to get that following." Dude, so that kind of goes
I mean,
with
would you want your following just to be like random Insta people, or like people that actually like love your music as well, you know?
Yo, yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a weird thing too. It's like you're just trying to get people to follow you for the number instead of like the actual fan base, you know. But that kind of goes with my own little philosophy that I do think there's an audience out there for everyone, and I personally feel best when I'm creating music. So I'm just gonna continue creating music, even though these albums are popping out very quickly. And I just think along the way I'll pick up more and more and more, because maybe one person might find this album randomly, and then, oh, okay, they're recognizing I'm releasing music consistently, and then maybe they're a part of the fan base now, or maybe they only like me because of one album. I don't know, but I just think I just think people are out there and they'll find me if they want to find me. I'm kind of leaving. I guess I'm leaving a lot up to freaking astrology and freaking the ether, whatever you want to call it, for people.
Whatever the universe decides.
Yeah. I guess I'm just leaving it up to the universe at the moment.
Well, but, I think that's kind of an interesting tactic with like the way you release music, because having like 102 albums, I feel like there's got to be at least an album there for someone, because like your sound isn't, the same throughout the course of the 102 albums. Like you're constantly trying to change it up. So I imagine there's something there for someone.
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to ask as well, is that you seem to have like different plans and different what do you call it? Like different
like recording
you tend
processes.
No, you try to like go for a completely different thing with each album. So is that something you set out to do, or something you take pride in? And what inspires you to try new things rather than sticking to your guns and what you're good at?
Yeah. So, I think I have like a small group of skills that I'm proud of. One of those being simply playing the guitar. Another one being just my own ear, kind of developing my ear throughout the years and being able to kind of follow my ear and my instincts and my gut when creating a song or something, or playing live or improvising. Honestly, maybe those two skills are like just kind of the foundation for everything I do. Um, uh, so, oh, and I also take massive pride in originality.
Right, yeah.
Like yeah, I can't stress it enough. It's actually hilarious in the recent days, months, whatever. Maybe a few weeks ago, I was thinking about how looking back and reflecting on like my childhood, I do see how I took pride in originality back then before I even consciously knew that I did.
Yeah, it's just like something that's always been important.
Yeah, totally. So that's still, and I believe will always be a huge part of just me as a person, and creative, and that goes along with my creative work and stuff. And so yeah, I guess specifically for Stunt, Tactile Strike and Submerge, the in quotes the best album
of the
name
hour.
ever. Yeah. Specifically for that one, I wanted to. I had a different process going into it, where I wanted to create an album based off of sounds, not melodies or real musical progressions or harmony, but just sounds. I just wanted to have all these songs be like kick-started by just a cool sample or a cool sound I would get somewhere randomly.
Right.
Going back to the...
If you don't mind, we're going to get into that album like in depth in a little bit, but I wanted to ask you a couple more things.
Oh, totally.
Talk about that.
I'm going on a tangent, so cut me off whenever.
Yeah, totally.
It's all good. You're the Scott of the
I'm excited to talk about
the man of the hour.
The Scott of the Thank you. Wait, so what's that?
So
yeah. Sorry, what's up?
I just had one musical question and then one silly question. So your first album, Tornio, which is still one of my favorite albums that you've done.
Yeah.
Well, not your first album. You've done lots of other stuff before that, but sort of like the main stepping stone in your professional recording sound, as you said.
Yeah.
So you recorded that with your drummer, Arden.
Yeah, Arden Clawwitter.
Yeah. So I just wanted you to maybe elaborate on maybe your progression of how you've recorded stuff since then. Or maybe if you wanted to go into the recording process of that and just that album a little bit and just how you've grown in your recording process and your writing process since then.
Yeah, great question. Okay, so for Tornio, I believe that was like January 2019, or maybe December 2018. But I had recently met Arden Clawwitter through like a jazz fusion band that a fellow musician was trying to put on. His name was Blake Bradley. That didn't necessarily work out as best as we all intended, right. But
that's a whole different story.
Totally, but Arden was the drummer for that, and I really felt that I had a great just creative connection with Arden, whether that be creating music together or just talking about just discussing art and music, and we just seem to be on the same wavelength, which is really cool, and I still feel that way. And so I told him, like, man, I really want to make an album like just with you. Nothing against the other guys of this other band, but sometime let's get together and let's do it. So we did. I went to his house. I just brought a bunch of pedals with me, and I had a bunch of chord progressions and riffs and things, and I just stacked.
The riffs on that album are so good.
Dude, thank you. Yeah.
They're so well written.
Oh my goodness, thank you. So I just stacked the fuzzes, ran it through my Fender Hot Rod Deluxe version 3 amplifier, which at the time was literally breaking during recording, and I didn't know until afterwards.
Wow. Is that why there's like some weird, interesting, glitchy sounds on the album, or is that just other production?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, literally, literally, yes. What's it called? Okay, so I obviously stacked like a overdrive and a fuzz and some delay and reverb and all that stuff to get just a big guitar sound.
Yeah.
For this guitar drum duo sound. But yeah, my amp multiple times just goes like
yeah,
kind of like.
Well, I was listening to it, I just heard all this like fuzzy, like cutting in, warbling noises. I wasn't sure how if that was programmed in or not. I just found it very interesting, and it works like totally with the concept of the album.
Yeah, those sounds are kind of what makes it sonically unique.
Yeah. It's my breaking.
It's cool
amp.
that you were able to capture that by accident.
Yes, dude. Yes, and that's my goodness, so exciting about recording in general. It's just there's so much left up to. There's so many factors, you know. Anyways. That was one of the factors, the breaking amp that made it sound cool. So so Arden and I got together for an evening, and just set up all the mics, set up the drums, set up the guitar, try to get my sound right, and then we recorded all 6 songs. Okay, so I recorded like 6 on my own. And then,
the 6 songs that had drums, you mean?
Yes, but 6 songs that had drums. Yeah, we recorded those 6 in that evening, and then he, in like an hour or two, he was kind of, he mixed it and mastered it, just those songs, and then just on a USB drive gave them to me to have, and then I popped it on the album. Yeah, but when he was mixing and mastering it, there were maybe a song or two, I think just one song that he did put some. Sorry, I'm burping from the yerb. But
our yerby boy.
Our yerby boy. Our yerby burpy boy. Okay, sorry.
Yerby burp.
So gross. But he did put some effects on it, so there are some interesting like warbling sounds. That is from him just kind of getting creative with it with the plugins.
And I thought some of that was from synthesizer as well. Like the beginning of Jackie Ate All the Rubber Ducks, for example. There's sort of an iconic. I say iconic. I wish it was iconic.
Oh,
but like the crazy like.
This phaser pedal I'm holding up, this $30 Behringer vintage phaser, which is modeled after an Electro Harmonix small stone. This thing was on it, and so for some parts in like a song or two, this was on it. I punched it in, but other than that, I wouldn't, that's obviously not a synthesizer. That was like the craziest effect I personally had just in my pedal setups is that phaser. But there were no synthesizers. No synthesizers
on the album at all? That's crazy.
Yeah, no synthesizers.
All the synths I heard were just guitar pedals.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
You're a
I didn't
madman.
have. Yeah, no, I would just run. Just getting different tones and things with different pedals. I had this way huge analog delay pedal. That was kind of like on the whole thing. This is such a great pedal. Oh my god! And then the key to the fuzz.
2, 1.
Hopefully that was close.
Okay. I'm so sorry about that. That was strange. Good.
So something about the tones for Tornio?
Yeah, just that swollen pickle, way huge fuzz. I just threw that on, and honestly, this isn't even my favorite fuzz pedal. But it has a really interesting sound. It's such a shapeable sound. So yeah, that was on it. And
the instrumentation was completely improvised on the album, wasn't it? Or maybe you had an A-B section, but it was mostly not rehearsed.
Yeah, you're right. I came in with the riffs and things, but it was the first time Arden had ever heard these riffs, and we jammed it for like sometimes 10 seconds before hitting the record button.
Oh wow!
And then we would just hit record, and he would know the riff, he would know the beat he wants to at least start off with. I know what I want to do, and so he was kind of following me, but he's able to improvise really well. And I would sometimes switch up the structure of the song, improvised in the moment, and he would pick it up real quick. So it sounds really loose. It sounds super loose, and that's just because based off of these riffs, we were just improvising it all. I hope that makes sense.
Oh, that definitely.
No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah,
cool.
Because when I first heard the album, I was blown away because, for some people to make an instrumental album that sounds that good, they would have to put like months or even years of work into it. But for you improvisational people, it's just a matter of, it's a completely different skill. It's like you need to put
do I have
effort.
chemistry with the person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting to me.
Yeah. And that's a big part of my music making over the past year or two, is even when I'm just recording music on my own, sometimes I would record the guitar for a song all the way through the song first. So that would be the first thing I would record, and the only preparation I would have is knowing the riffs and the melodies and things that I'm playing on this guitar part. So I kind of kept that improvisational aspect even when recording just on my own, because I wouldn't plan out the structure beforehand. I would play the structure however I felt in the moment, So I have these riffs, and I'm just kind of going about it, just kind of doing it based off of feel. Sometimes it would take 2 or 3 takes to get a good one out. And that's maybe a reason why I'm able to bust out some stuff, is because, like I said earlier, just following my ear really takes me far, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really dope.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we're at the 50-minute mark, I think. 45 minute.
We're at the
so we might need to get into your album. 35?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
We might need to get into the album in like just a minute or so.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't even mind.
I really enjoyed that insight into Tornio because it's one of my favorite instrumental albums, let alone by a local artist.
Yeah.
It's some really nutty shit.
I'm so happy you enjoy it. And what I will say is the current... So Travis, you and I recently talked about how about that album, and again that you enjoyed just the sound of it, and I attribute a large part of that sound to just being one guitar and the drum set. Sometimes I get carried away with guitar layers and have fun with harmonizing and stuff, but one thing I'm doing with my current project is trying to write the guitar for just one guitar part. So I'm trying to I realize that more is not always merrier.
Yeah.
So the more not always merrier. So I'm trying to write guitar parts just for one guitar, and beefing that up with maybe different instruments around it for my current project. So I'm inspired that you were inspired by something I made 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's dope. So I just had a quick question. So what is do you have a favorite movie? Or if you can't pick one movie, what are maybe like a few movies you've seen maybe recently or not so recently that you've loved?
Good question.
It can be the one we're talking about today.
It can be.
If one, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna allow it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Dude, I loved the House movie so much. Like,
yeah,
that was
great.
Yeah,
so
don't worry,
perfect.
it's one of my favorite movies too.
Awesome.
Not a cop out.
Awesome. I seriously felt like that was so perfectly up my alley. Just with like, it was so silly, but also really creative, but also sort of spooky, kind of maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of a horror movie or whatever. So I think I love that. Oh, I just remembered.
Shit. The epiphany.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the movie Mandy?
Oh, I watched a little bit
Nicolas
of it,
Cage
and I
one?
think I got tired.
Nicolas Cage, exactly. Did you
Yeah,
say
that
you just
movie's
got
wild.
tired?
Yeah, I was tired. That happens sometimes.
Okay.
I just feel like I feel like I can't give a movie a full attempt at that moment, so I just turn it off and save it for later.
That's true. I get tired
the
at
one-
least once every day.
That's the one where Nicolas Cage is like really bloody, right?
Yeah, dude, Nick.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, dude, he breaks free from the cage in that movie.
That's Nicholas Uncaged.
Yeah, uncaged.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I think that one is insane. That one like opened up my brain a little bit. And Nick Cage just goes ape shit. Oh my god, yeah. I think it's so creative, so sick. The soundtrack was partly done by Sun guitarist Stephen O'Malley, who I am a big fan of.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
He's playing the guitar, going, and there, yeah. I think it's Johan Johansson, who recently passed away, actually. Who was
that's him. Yeah.
connected to Stephen O'Malley, guitarist for Sun, and so Stephen O'Malley was on soundtrack for Mandy. Dude, it's a good time. Mandy was super sick. Dude, you want to get into the House movie?
Oh, we're gonna do your album first, if that's okay.
Sick. Tell me.
First,
about
we have to
it.
talk
I'll
about
tell
you
about
more.
it. I I love it.
We've talked about you enough.
Now we're gonna talk about the house.
No, the whole thing. So we listened to Scott's newest album, Stunt, a Tactile Strike and Submerge. Is it?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
The best
And
title ever.
it's a sick album.
Is that the end of it?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. Stunt,
Yeah.
Tactile Strike and Submerge. You know what the funny thing is? I was trying to tell my friends about my own album the other day, and I could not remember my own album title. I was like, yeah, Stunt.
Dude,
That's so funny.
Some submarine shit, you know.
Yeah, just some it's submersive shit. I don't fucking know, dude. Yeah.
So this album is like I feel like it's one of the more creative things you've done. You know,
Heck
there's these like noisy sections, almost like Daughters a little bit, and there's these melodic guitar sections that are really well written, and it's sort of just like a mishmash of all these different fun styles. And to a point where the first time I listened to it, I couldn't make heads or tails of it almost. I come to
I was very,
appreciate it more.
I was a little
on
overwhelmed.
re-listens.
Wow.
My first listen, I was a little overwhelmed just with the amount of cool sounds I was hearing. But each listen more, like, it's easier for me to pick up on all the little cool things you're doing. It's a real good album.
Thank you so much. It's definitely a dense boy.
Yeah,
definitely a dense boy. What was I gonna say? Shoot, what was I gonna say? Did you have a?
I can ask a question if you want.
Yeah.
I remember what I was gonna say. It's so sick. Okay, so when I make music, I absolutely love being experimental to the point of unpleasing sounds sonically. But
yeah, this thing is really sonically experimental, I noticed. Yeah.
Yes, but I get pretty easily fatigued whether I'm listening to a song or creating a song if it's only that, if that's the only thing keeping the song going is just sonically unpleasing, you know?
Yeah.
Like
and you do a lot of that on this album. There's
yes.
There's a lot of breaks that make it more dynamically structured.
Yeah, totally. So I love that dissonance in the bad sounds, but I always try and keep some sort of, I don't know, melodically followable, just harmonically pleasing sound. So like the actual music underneath it all is hopefully still good. That's kind of my goal with like all of my music is I want the music to be good, and then I'm gonna F it up horribly because these crazy sounds excite me so much, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I would notice like all these like crazy effects and like crazy ambient noise in the background, but with like a leading guitar like riff or like a leading drum guitar playing off each other sort of thing, you know? So it's like you have this like busy section and like part of the song, but you also have this like really clean, understandable section like on the front layer of it. I just found that very interesting.
It's experimental yet accessible.
Heck yeah.
I feel like.
Oh my gosh. So sick.
And the song Morphine Half Outside of Submerge.
That's right, man. That's right.
That's the opening track, and I feel like it has it does a really good job of setting the tone for the entire album, because it's pretty much most of the things that the album is. You know, you have this the noisy sections and this sick lead guitar, and you have like the quiet sections comes right back into the heavy shit. It's structured really well. It might be one of my favorite tracks on the album.
Thank you.
This is one of those albums where like the more I got into it, the more my favorite track changed, which I think is like one of the main things you could say about a great album is like, this is my favorite song now, or like, no wait, this is my favorite song, and then you hear the beginning of the next one and you're like, no, this is my favorite song. You know, that happened to me a lot.
That happens to me with the Doors' first album. Was that like 67 or 69 or something like that?
I think it was like 67, yeah.
Nice, dude. Oh my gosh, so sick. Dude, so what I'll do is, oh my gosh, I gotta tell you about the ritual, dude. Okay,
What's that?
It's nothing like grossly satanic or anything, but
make it grossly satanic.
It's not even borderline satanic. It's actually very like freaking opposite of that.
Is it angelic?
It's okay, that's the word, or something along those lines. Angelic. Yeah. But dude, I would dude, okay, I'm gonna go Pulp Fiction on you. I'm gonna tell you this out of order. At the end of recording the album, I had like 20 yerba mate cans all around in this room, like empty cans.
Yerby boy.
Yeah, very yerby boy, dude. And so what I would do, the reason why that is, now going back to the beginning, is because I would just go in my room, not even think about music, not even think about what I was going to make, and I would read a couple chapters of a manga, which is like an anime comic book, which
which
find
manga?
Good question. Black Clover, which is similar to maybe Naruto, maybe similar to My Hero Academia, if you know those.
Yeah, it's like one of those shonen ones.
Exactly. Yeah. Just very positive, action-centric, if that's a term. Action heavy and just very positive and inspiring. And so I wasn't even thinking about music, but I would sip on a yerb, and I would read 2 chapters of Black Clover, and just the way it works out, at the end of 2 chapters, oh, okay, I finished my yerb. Let's close up this book. I am like freaking high on life right now, and partly caffeine. And then I would jump into this room, which is right next to my bedroom, and then I would just freaking headphones on. It's game time, and I love putting myself in a good place mentally before making music, because if you go into something predisposed to not like what you're about to make, maybe because I had to do my laundry before this, god dang it, and you come in here and you're like, let's just freaking make a song or some shit, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you hit the sickest noise ever, but just because your brain is in a bad place, you go, oh shit, it's not good, get this out of here. I should close the computer and go take a nap for 10 days. But that's what I don't want to do. I like to be predisposed to loving everything I hear. And so the yerb helps, the manga helps, the sort of not even thinking about music beforehand helps, and then I come in here, it's game time, and then I freaking hook up like a MIDI keyboard, which is just my synthesizer, into the computer. I kind of go through some samples I might have gotten like a week ago, and kind of cut it up a little bit, edit it, play it on my keyboard. And I'm like, oh, damn, that's the sickest thing ever. And then I just start layering everything possible. And so I just follow my ear, probably for like 4 hours a day I would do this. Just following my ear, doing crazy noises, and just a bunch of layers. And then what I would do is, after I was done with these, I think it's 12 songs, so I did like one song a day for 12 days, and then at the so that's like 2 chapters in 1 yerb a day. So
you're grinding.
I'm grinding, dude. And so after the 12 days, I was like, all right, that's enough songs. That's enough like material to start each song, because obviously I wouldn't finish a song in 1 day. I would just have fun layering all these crazy sounds and things. And then I would go, and so after the 12 days, I was going back, revisiting each song, making it a little smoother, figuring out structure of things, kind of beefing it up, maybe then with guitar, and then layering drums on top of it.
Quick question about that. Did you play drums for this, or was it programmed? Because I had a hard time telling while I was listening to it.
Oh, so check it out. It was part electronic drums, part acoustic drums that I recorded.
Okay, that would make sense why I felt confused then. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, got
so
it.
like you played like all the instruments on this album?
Yeah, I didn't have any help from... Oh no! Sorry, a pedal fell.
Pedal down.
Pedal down. and it's my friend's pedal. I feel bad I just dropped it. But anyways, I borrowed this Roland TR8, which is a super modern version of the 808 drum machine. Yeah. And this is so amazing, dude. I'm either gonna freaking buy this from my buddy if he allows me, or just get one for myself, because it is such an amazing machine to quickly create the beat you hear in your head or whatever.
Yeah, and I noticed there's a lot of heavy drum machine on the album. Like on the second track.
It's all that.
And the song Beast Magic had a really massive drum machine beat. That's one of my favorite songs on the album. It had awesome. A very industrial feel. Like Nine Inch Nails almost.
Dude, so check this out. I misspoke when I said it was all the TR8, because it wasn't. Actually, like 50%, I shouldn't say 50%, 30% of the sounds you hear on the album are samples I got at an informal car meetup in some parking lot. I happened to have my Tascam.
What the fuck?
I happened to have my Tascam with me. Oh, shoot, my phone. I'm here. I happened to have my Tascam with me because I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm going out and I need samples. Let's see what happens. And then I was like, why are all these hot-rodded cars like coming in this parking lot at like 9 a.m.? And it was like an informal car meetup, and then like just like all these cars of all sorts, a lot of the hot-rodded whatevers showed up. And so, dude, I was just going around holding this Tascam up to like cars as they were trying to park, and just like make these crazy sounds. And
That's
so
crazy.
So the very next day after that, I chopped up like, oh man, it was a lot of audio. It took me like 4 hours to chop up the audio of all these samples, but I just chopped up everything, and so later I could refer to it really easily. And then I assigned these samples to a new gadget of mine. I'll show you. It's right here. This Alesis MIDI drum pad.
Oh, that looks cool.
Oh yeah.
So you got.
I know what that is.
You got 4 pads to hit there. I hooked that up to my. I hooked it up to my computer, and I assigned, some weird car samples or some weird samples of people saying like Tyler, sup Tyler, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I love that song as well.
Or yeah, and
that's a great song,
dude. Okay, so there was a guy in like a Miata driving by, and there was this other dude with like a beanie going Tyler, like trying to get his attention. It's like Tyler.
Yeah, I thought it was you.
Yeah, I also thought it was you when I first listened to it.
This was just a guy trying to get another guy's attention.
Trying to get Tyler's attention.
And then Tyler didn't
specifically Tyler.
And I'm just this guy holding my Tascam up like 20 or 10 feet away to like, Tyler and guy calling for Tyler and just kind of watching. And the reason Tyler didn't hear is because you got 40 loud engines going on in this parking lot. And so anyways, I just that one night gave me so many sounds. I would then assign these sounds to the Alesis MIDI drum pad. I would improvise, not even to a metronome or anything, but just improvising some interesting sounds or some interesting rhythms, doing some crazy diddles. And that's not a bad. That's it. Totally. That's not even a bad word. That's just a drum word. Just I would just
diddle
the Alesis like crazy, and and I would just get all these interesting rhythms and sounds out of it, and then I would like record just some improvised things. I would listen back, be like, "That's sick. Let me try and do that better." I do it better, maybe quantize it if I want, and then repeat that sound. Repeat that like loop or something for 4 times or whatever the heck. Get a basic structure for the song that I'm feeling at the moment. And then, so yeah, that Beast Magic song, which is like, that's me going click, 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 click. and I just assigned those sounds, and
That's
after
crazy.
with some crazy post production, put like maxed out distortion on these engine sounds, and so a lot of engine sounds, dude.
Yeah,
I
I can
love
kind
that
of
track.
tell. Yeah, I never realized. I thought you were just like fucking with shit on your DAW or whatever. I didn't realize those were samples you were fucking with and just playing on your drum pad.
Yeah.
And
And that's
one thing I'd like to say. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, sorry, but I was gonna say that goes back to like taking pride in originality. I love creating my own sounds to work with. I kind of think going on the internet and buying a pack of like we have an E flat sus chord you can buy for $49.99. It's like
I want my own version of that.
Yeah, dude. It's like shut up, man. Let me just make my own or whatever.
No, I really respect that too. But, like, there's this one rapper I listen to named JPEG Mafia.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
He all his like drum hits or samples are just like him hitting his desk or like clicking a pen or something. So it's always just like his own sound.
That's
I always like really respect that. But I have a question. Where'd you record that water droplet sample on 73 Fleet? Because it sounds very satisfying to me every time I hear it.
Are you ready?
Holy shit. It's
right there. We got a live performance.
It's right here.
Yeah, it was this exact water bottle, doubled with a sample I got using the Tascam. I was hanging out with Arden Clawwitter, who's drummer for Tornio, and I was like, Arden, I want to like get some samples. Do you want to accompany me with that? And so he did, and there happened to be a weird like trash can of water in his backyard, and so I was just holding this up, going like bloop 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 bloop, and so I just chopped it up super weird, stacked a few samples there. So I chopped up that sample, or layered it with that water bottle sample, and then I kind of looped it in an interesting way, and made an interesting beat out of it. And then for that specific song, like 73 Flea, I think it is.
Yes.
I just had arpeggiating synths or synth lines underneath it that I was messing with. So there was no structure for the song, but I was just improvising these synth sounds for like 2 minutes, and then so I think there's like 2 or 3 layers of synth messing around. Probably, yeah, there's 3 layers of synths arpeggiating over that sampled beat, and then like whatever it was, a couple weeks later, I go back to the song, and then I'm playing guitar to it, and I figure out that lead melody, and then I add the drum machine, and then I record acoustic drums, kind of fill out the song a little bit. Yeah, that'll do ya.
I have another quick question. So I remember you saying earlier, like, your focus on this album was creating more like an ambient sound instead of all the guitar layers, right? It's more of like ambient synth noise or like a cool alien noise in the background and less like guitar centric. So when you typically write a song, do you typically start with the guitar and like did that change for this album, or I just kind of want to know like how your songwriting process is, like in terms of like the order of instruments.
Totally. So I absolutely love just like crazy sounds, and so I wanted to start this project just with the crazy sounds, because normally, to answer your question, normally I would write my all my songs with guitar first.
Yeah.
And so the normal process would be like, okay, I'm going to record a layer of guitar. Oh, I found a harmony for that. I'm going to record another layer and another layer and another layer. And then like a day later, I'll record drums over that, and then that's the song or whatever. Maybe some synth. But this time I was like, I've always wanted to experiment with a different sound, and it's hard to get a different final product when I'm doing the same exact process.
Yeah.
Which is guitar, guitar, bass, drums in that recording order. But this time, and then maybe sound effects at the end of that. But this time I wanted to start with the sound effects and then fill out those sound effects with guitar if possible. So I just wanted to start with maybe a more sound effect, beat heavy, catchy thing instead of just like freeform melodic guitar that I'm normally doing. So I obviously got a different final product by having that different recording order process, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I definitely like heard the difference between this and like Tornio, for example. Because like like Tornio, I felt like was a lot more like, I don't know, punchy or like upbeat, a lot more freeform. But this one's like more of like an ambient vibe, creating this like weird feeling in you. It's more about the feeling than it is, I don't know, necessarily the punch of the music. Yeah.
More industrial electronic.
Yes.
And really, the electronic stuff on the album is really well executed. One of my favorite tracks is I think you might have been talking about the wrong song earlier, because the second song, it goes like that's Repercussions of an Active Memory. And Beast Magic,
you're right. Sorry about that.
Beast Magic is the one that has that fucking massive industrial sample with the drum beat that I think it's in five. It's either in 5 or 7, but it's just a really odd feeling groove.
Yeah, it was a really scary song.
And I think the electronics are so well executed on that. Just sonically, it's so massive and intense, and that's just totally my cup of tea.
That's awesome. That's the one that has just a lot of noise, right? Just like it starts out that way.
Yeah,
dude. And that's sorry, I have to like confirm that with you. I'm just horrible at song titles. For anyone or even my own music, I'm just horrible with song titles. But
I can tell.
You make some pretty good titles.
It seems like you type out random shit that you think is funny at the time, which I enjoy.
Exactly. It's just a super playful, just like fun thing.
Why am I a fish?
I like that one as well.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I like every song. I just
can
like
we talk
your song
about
title.
Why Am I a Fish for a second? Because that's just a really existential question to ask.
I think I might have been reflecting on my goldfish I owned for 12 years when I was a young kid. You heard that right, my dude.
12 years?
Yeah, dude. I had a goldfish that lived.
What kind of fucking freak of nature did you own?
A goldfish
a
named Goldie. And I should have asked you what you thought the name was, but the name was Goldie. Very very fitting name. And dude, he wasn't even gold. We should have called him Silver by the end of his life because he had no gold left in him. But
oh my god.
But he was just in the same bowl, just being fed like 2 leaves of little fish food like every day, and he's just a survivor, man. He's probably a monk, probably a reincarnated monk, actually. That's legit. I don't know if I believe in that, but you know,
maybe he was a deity of some sort.
Dude, he was. Dude, what?
Maybe it was an even smaller fish, and then got reincarnated as a slightly bigger goldfish.
Whoa,
that's
stuck
something to think about.
You're stuck to the same species.
Yeah, it's just like taking little steps up, baby steps.
Oh,
so
totally.
I wanted to ask you about the instrumentation on that song. Was that
synthesizer, TR-8, drum machine? Sorry to interrupt. Guitar, real drums, just a bunch of synthesizer. And can I say something before I forget? And I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but
no, go ahead.
But this song was so heavy on my mind because I created it. I just one layer at a time did these really interesting things with a synthesizer and the drum machine, and going to bed. It was very late at night. It was like 1 a.m, and I was like, 12 hours earlier I had made the song, but I was like, damn, this song is like so exhausting. Yeah, it was fatiguing to me and exhausting to just this song that has zero dynamics, where it's just just a wall of noise for literally 5 minutes. That's what it was for it in its first iteration of it. And so what I did, I just had to do it. It was kind of magical, but I got out of bed. I was about to fall asleep, came into this room, and I mixed the whole thing in 10 minutes. I went into the automation mode and fixed the volumes for every single track. So sometimes I dipped things out for a few seconds, brought it back in interesting ways. And then I finished it after like 10-15 minutes of like going through and like fixing the automation and the volume for it. Kind of mixing the whole track really, so it's not just a wall, and it just breathed so much better. I saved it, closed the computer, fall asleep, get back to it a week later, add some guitar and acoustic drums, and it ended up being a really nice song. Yeah.
So there's no banjo on the track? Because the beginning sounds like a banjo. Do you use a banjo on the album? Because I feel like on the song String Magic, there's a banjo on it.
Oh!
I could have swore there was a banjo on it.
That's funny. Dude, so I enjoy sampling my own guitar playing as well. And so I sampled, so I had my funny, silly Boss Katana amplifier set up, and I had my Gretsch guitar. It's like a $500-$400 guitar, just to give you a reference of what type of guitar I'm talking about. Not trying to like show off or anything, but that's what it is. And I just had a mic set up, I think, okay, so yeah, I do my ritual, the yerb manga ritual. I came into this room, I played, I was just kind of fiddling around in guitar, enjoying myself, and then I came across a chord progression, an interesting melody or whatever, kind of stacked a few harmonies, and then I recorded that, and then I sampled that, and I put that into my MIDI keyboard, or like was able to assign it to the MIDI keyboard. So what I did is what happens when you put a sample on a keyboard is obviously the pitch goes up when you play a higher key, but it also affects the speed of the sample, so I could say something like buh buh, but if I play it like 2 octaves higher, it's gonna be like beep beep boop, like really fast. That's just the way it works. Or you can play it real low and go boo.
Yeah, that's just the way like frequencies work.
Yeah, just so it can like, just the way it works. And so what I did is I pressed down like 5 or 6 notes all right next to each other with this sample, with this like a guitar sample I did, and I just clicked it all at once, and then you could hear all the different speeds of this one sample start to lose each other and kind of fall out of sync. And so that's exactly what that intro is. And I just thought that sounded so sick. It was my guitar sample playing on all these keys, and you could hear each key is at like a millisecond of a slightly different pace, whether it's slightly faster or slower. And so they start to fall out of sync, and sometimes they sync up in interesting ways. And I honestly consider that like improvisation, just hearing how it works out. And I just thought that was so cool. And so I just kept that, threw it on at the beginning. Magically, the final note of it worked really well as a segue into the first note of like the verse, or whatever you want to call it. And so that verse was made by me sampling a guitar strum of a few chords, assigning it to that MIDI drum pad I had, getting some drumsticks and going and so I just played that, and so you have like this quick, fast, high-pitched guitar strum sample on the drum pad that I hit, and that's why it sounds like this guitar is like freaking throughout the fire and flame speed, you know.
Yeah.
And
did that happen on any other tracks as well? Because I feel like there's some songs where I noticed that the groove of everything is just really disorienting, or slightly like things are rushing and dragging, and it's just kind of hard to keep track. Like maybe things are in different time signatures than the other instruments.
So
like I think the track I'm referring to is either On Yellow or Spotting a Barn Owl at 2 a.m.
Dude, there's a barn owl by my house that only comes by at 2 a.m. That's crazy.
That's sick. It could be the same one, TBH.
Yeah.
Dude,
Maybe.
I just realized something. You know when I said I automated that song in like 10 minutes? I was referring to On Yellow. Does that make sense? Were we talking about another song there?
Doesn't matter.
Damn. Okay. Because the noisy one, the on yellow song. Oh snap! Worst guest of all time. Oh,
You're
God.
fired.
Totally. No.
Okay. I'm fired. I thought you said I'm fine, but
Get
you
outta
finished
here.
the word and said fired. Oh God. Anyways. So what's your question? Did I sample my guitar in any other ways like that?
No, like in Spotting a Barn Owl at 2 a.m., I noticed that the groove of it is just really just disorienting. It feels like things are in different time signatures, or like things are rushing and other things are dragging. And I like how it came out. Like that seems like an intentional choice that you made for the track. But I was just wondering.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was me. Yeah, that was me just having fun with like another sampled guitar thing on the MIDI keyboard, and the way it would switch the tempos when you hit a different key, it would kind of naturally force you to play an interesting rhythm or something. So it's a really creative way to get an interesting sound, is playing these samples on the keyboard, which forces the samples to be different speeds, you know, depending on which key you're hitting.
Right.
So yeah. I did do that
Okay.
a few times, yeah.
And one of the last things I wanted to sort of bring up is with these, with just the way some of these tracks are put together. I think Why Am I a Fish and Go Grab It and Subtiler specifically, it kind of sounds like very fun and upbeat, and kind of like something off of Zach Hill's solo work or something like that. How they have
cool.
Really peppy drums and like scattered samples, and they sort of build into heavier, noisier things as the track goes on. And that's just something I wanted to bring up that was really well done. If you wanted to talk about Go Grab It for a little bit, I really liked that track, and I would like to hear more about
awesome. Because I love Go Grab It as well. Possibly my personal favorite song to just listen to if I were to
Yeah,
listen.
it's one of my favorites as well.
Awesome. The thing with that one is it. So that was car engine noises all the way freaking throughout.
Right.
And there's also a higher pitch like like a sound like that. That was me sampling me kicking a yerba mate can on concrete.
Oh, I thought it was like Go-Go Bells or something.
I just like threw a yerb can at the ground and got a nice
I
sound.
thought you played a lot more instruments on this album than you actually did, and it was all just like fucked up samples. And that's really
what I thought
impressive.
too.
Yeah.
I was like, I hear fucking cowbells here, a fucking banjo here, and like all this percussion. It's just you doing random shit.
Yeah, it's just these stupid samples for sure.
Oh, that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so that's just me assigning it to the drum pad, MIDI drum pad. So yeah, when I just bop into this room after my ritual, my yerb manga ritual, I was just so amped that I came up with that beat, go ding 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 or whatever it was. And yeah. So I was searching through my samples I had. I was like, ooh, that'd be sick to throw on the mini pad right now. Ooh, that would go well with that. Ooh, that would go well with that too. So I have like 3 or 4 sounds I'm working with. Kind of play around with it. Came up with that drum beat. Had a very nice like basic structure for the song. And the one key thing I really wanted to make sure with this song is to not lose momentum, because that. So okay, I love taking advantage of like space in songs and silence and things, but the openness of things, but this rhythm. Or maybe hold on, Go Grab It is I just hummed it. I hummed.
Did you start talking about another song?
Yeah, I was talking about Repercussions of an Active Memory, but I'm talking about Go Grab It. But anyways, the same thing applies. The point is, I wanted to make sure I could keep up the movement and the energy with this song. And so I think I just developed a nice structure for the song. So I went back to it like a week later, just listening to this song made up of freaking car noises and cans and things. And it's funny because this is before like any post-production, any effects are thrown on these sounds. So it's just a super dry like beat, it's just like these stupid samples that have zero equalization on it and stuff. So it's just like it almost sounds like noise concrete or whatever you want to, if you know what that is or whatever. But anyways, so I come back to it and I was like, man, this needs some melodic movement going on, because right now it's just a beat. And then I hopped on this Korg Minilog XD, which I got myself right before the this project, because I was like, damn, I need a very shapeable synthesizer sound. But the one I've been working with all this time, let me grab it here, is the Roland JDXI. This is more heavy on the presets instead of shaping your own sound, so it's good for that. But I realized over the years I want to make my own sound. So the Minilog XD is amazing for that. So I have this for Go Grab It. I have these weird samples and this beat, and I just hit some cool chords that I was figuring out, and I just kind of was just improvising some cool chords over it, laid down some chords. I don't know. It turned out really well. I think there's there's acoustic drums on it too, which is like, I was really happy about. I don't know. I'm just freaking hyped on it.
That's why I think that's why I drew the comparison of Zach Hill, because you have all of the peppy, like bells and things, and the acoustic drums and the samples. It's very comparable to stuff like, I don't know, Face Tat, for example.
Oh yeah, getting those interesting atmospheres. Another heavy inspiration. Couple heavy inspirations is David Bowie Black Star.
Oh. Okay, I can kind of get that vibe on the album. Yeah.
That's just a general big inspiration for myself. Is that album, and then and so in that album there's a lot of electronic beats stacked with the acoustic drums played by Mark Meliana. Look him up. He was the drummer on Black Star. And then the other album is Clipping's new album.
That's good.
Yeah, that album's sick.
So good, just like so amazing. And I felt like hearing that pushed me in the direction of really committing to a sound or like a noise heavy album, focusing on the sound effects. I think that it really pushed me in the right direction that I have always wanted to go in, but never really got the courage because I kind of didn't understand what I was exactly going for. But hearing their final product of just an amazing album that is melodically nice, rhythmically nice, sounds crazy, that was inspiring me a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are we all good on this? Is there anything
I have
we
one more
bring
question.
Up?
Sick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, have you ever been so hyped that your body went to the club without you?
I just read that on the fucking Bandcamp just now. Oh my god.
I need an answer to that.
The only answer is yes.
Damn, has that ever happened to me? Let me I'm thinking really hard, not even joking. Dude, that. Okay, I don't think my body's ever been to the club, but like, I think what happens is my body just goes for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe not at the club physically, but at the club spiritually.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Spiritually, I get around, dude, and like, and it's just because
my spirit's a little slut.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I think maybe I'll get so hyped for my classic yerb manga ritual that my spirit that affects my spirit, dude.
Fuck
and
yeah.
then my spirit might head to the club, which is honestly just like working on my computer, which is so silly. Cause like on the inside it's just me going like, but on the outside, you know, it's just like.
I'm gonna
working on my
beat
computer,
there.
typing away.
Let me adjust some levels here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Turn this knob. Nice. You know. But on the inside, just like strobe light.
This is the best song ever.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, dude. Real quick, I have to say, because no one in the world knows this. But I killed a man. No, I'm just kidding.
95.
No, I'm just kidding. But I was gonna say. Sometimes I think it's happened at least once for every song on the album, but there's just something that hits so nicely for me while making the song that I just laugh, dude. I just have to take a second and laugh, and it just like that's what it's all about. It's just like being so hyped that your body goes to the club without you, you know?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what it's all about.
That's the theme.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I think that's the perfect thing to end on.
Totally.
So let's get into this movie discussion. So we all watched the movie Hausu, directed by Nobuhiko Obayashi, which is kind of like an experimental horror comedy, and it's an experience that I don't think you can really get anywhere else. And it's very unique film.
We actually time traveled a week in the future from the previous segment in order to discuss this. So, I hope you guys are happy.
Yeah. Are you telling the audience you hope the audience is happy, or are you hope Travis and Scott is happy?
Yeah, man.
Sick.
It's like you get me.
That's sick.
So
okay,
Scott,
so
did you want to try and explain the plot? I want to hear how you describe it.
Oh damn! So since we did travel 1 week into the future, you know, this past week my brain has been occupied with other things, so it might be just like 5% different, my memory on it now, but I'll go at it, dude. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
And by the way, I'll take off my sunglasses.
Go full
and hat,
force.
Yeah, strip.
I want to see some energy. I want to see some movement.
But you'll just hear me in like the corner of the room because of where the mic is placed and stuff.
Yeah, just jogging in place.
Yeah, just like.
So
okay.
Is about.
In the background, you hear the pacer gram test. Up, down, 200. Up,
That'd
down,
be good.
201. Okay. Let me go at it. Sorry to be talking about memes. Okay. Dude, so freaking so many spoilers. Here we go.
Let's just announce spoilers right now. So
no spoilers?
No, let's just announce spoilers. So like spoiler warning. if you haven't seen Hausu, don't listen, or if you don't care, keep listening. But we're gonna spoil it.
Should I log off then?
Oh, you haven't seen it. I forgot. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, why'd you guys invite me?
Well, no. You're down to be in the conversation. Just don't listen to the episode when it comes out.
That's fair. Yeah, I'll just not listen now and just say what I want.
You'll just be ordering a burger from In-N-Out or something.
I'm gonna take my laptop with me to the drive-thru.
Just on a completely okay. Here's the summary with spoilers. Actually, you brought up a point 5 seconds ago that I have to say, which is it kind of doesn't even matter if we give away spoilers, because I think the movie is so entertaining with its cinematography. That's a big boy word. And its creativity, its art, just collage of styles, and just freaking visual candy sometimes, and some fun laughs. I think with all that, if you know the spoilers, it doesn't even matter. You're still gonna enjoy. That's why I think we can all watch the movie multiple times and enjoy it every single time.
Yeah, I would agree.
The plot's not as
strong
it doesn't really as matter. Like all the experimental shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you could say
what's your summary?
Wait, Travis, were you gonna say something?
I'll just do the summary.
Here's the freaking summary. Jeez, we're almost done with a podcast. It's only been okay. The summary is there's a girl, and she is, according to the people who made the movie, she is good looking, and so her name is Gorgeous because people name their kids what they are. That's why my name is freaking Guitarist. Anyways, so Gorgeous is the main character, and she goes on a trip to her aunt's house that she hasn't seen forever, and this house is way in the middle of nowhere, and she brings along other friends who coincidentally also have names based on their personalities.
My personality is Kung Fu.
Yeah, which is also my favorite character possibly of all time.
And there's Melody, and she's a musician, and there's like Fantasy, and she dreams, like she daydreams.
Yeah, and then there's Mac because she loves McDonald's.
Yeah. And then there's Sweet because she likes...
She's a sweet gal.
She's a sweet gal. She's very sweet. She's a sweet gal. So, all these friends go to the Hausu. And, good. We all get it in. Cool. And at this Hausu, the aunt... over the course of the movie, we see that the house and the aunt, there's a lot of suspicious things about them and a lot of borderline paranormal activity. But when you think of paranormal, you're thinking of like the recent like horror movies, Paranormal Activity. It's not that sort of idea. It's more like just silly fever dream nonsense that just goes on. And all these girls are just freaking
eaten by the house.
Yeah.
And it's very experimental and artistic in its presentation. So that's sort of like, that doesn't completely describe the experience you get from watching it. Like, it's very schizophrenic in its style.
Yeah, the ghosts just like want to troll you before they kill you, so they're just gonna do a bunch of weird shit, and that really comes out through the editing.
Yeah,
the editing style is absolutely insane.
I think honestly, the plot is very cool, but I feel like that's not even the focal point of the movie. It's more just like insanity for your eyes.
Yeah, it's all about the feeling of it.
Yeah.
It's how it's supposed to make you feel.
Like, yeah, to add to that, like, this movie's a lot more about, like, visual storytelling than just, like, any, like, direct plot. Like, if we just say the plot plainly, it's pretty thin. Like, girls go to a house
Yeah.
and then house eats them. That's, like, the plot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, a
Yeah.
lot of, like, the
But
experience and, like, what you get from the movie comes from, like, the weird editing or the weird ways they, like, tell parts of the plot.
Yes.
And
That's
the
exactly
the
it.
visual
Like, yeah.
styles are very, very creative. I think Nobuhiko Obayashi is a very interesting director in that way. How he just chooses to like include like old timey black and white flashbacks and 2D animation and these weird like spastic things coming in from all different directions of the frame, and he even does the Looney Tunes like closing out the scene with the black circle, and he does that and then it just continues on with the same scene, and it's absolutely nuts. You pretty much know what the movie is gonna be like 5 minutes into it, because it just goes right into this wacky editing style. And it's really
different
dope.
Art styles, different there's animation thrown in there, there's stop motion
2D animation.
There's a lot of like practical effects that like honestly translate surprisingly well. And it's so I think it translates well because it seems like the guys who were making that understood which medium, whether it's stop motion or animation, they kind of understand how that, what sort of vibe that gives off. I hope I'm explaining this right. So it's like, funny that.
Like, they weren't, like, bounded by one style. It wasn't like we have to shoot the same way the whole movie. It's like, whatever works best for whatever thing we're trying to tell, we're just gonna do that. Which kind of creates, like, this, like, jumbled mess, but, like, a jumbled mess that all kind of fits together cohesively.
Yeah, it all revolves around that thin plot, but because it's just such a thick, jumbled visual mess, it keeps you so entertained. And also... here's a big boy word that I throw around semi-often: the dichotomy between the tone of what's the guy's name who's coming to rescue
Mr. Togo.
Banana Boy.
My lovely princess fantasy.
My lovely princess. Fantastic. The dichotomy between that funny part of the movie where Mr. Togo, it just like quickly cuts to him, funny music in the background, he's just bouncing around like a dork trying to come to the house, and then jump cut, quick cut, hard cut, whatever the term is, back to freaking house, doing spooky stuff. You know?
And they're getting eaten alive, and there's a pool of blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the closet's fucking eating their legs and shit.
But even when
she's
that's
getting
happening,
fucking electrocuted.
It's still kind of funny more than it is, like, scary.
Yeah,
like,
all the scary
has,
parts
like,
are very humorous.
Tone.
Yeah,
the whole movie has a great sense of humor. I'd say there's more than a handful of laugh out loud moments for me. Like, especially the watermelon man. They lift up the watermelon and he's just there like, ooh.
And hey, I gotta say something. So they come up to Mr. Watermelon Man, who is for whatever reason just like 100 yards outside of the aunt's house, but there's like nothing else in the entire rest of the 100 miles surrounding them. So I don't know why he's just chilling there at the watermelon
Support
stand.
Local businesses.
Yeah, but they only have one customer, and that's the wheelchair-bound aunt.
Look what gentrification is doing to our cities. Pushing all these watermelon salesmen out to the outskirts of town.
But it was weird because it seemed like he didn't even want to. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. It seemed like either he didn't want to sell the watermelon, or they didn't want the watermelon. And
Mac
then
bought a watermelon.
Well, that's the thing. What I was gonna say is, they're freaked out. Everyone's spooked. So then they continue their travels to the Hausu, and then like 5 seconds later, Mac has a watermelon. They're like, "Where'd you get that?" She's like, "I just got it." But it's like I just saw that interaction, and like no one wanted anything to do with each other back there. Mac should be renamed Courageous or Bravery, because she went back to that scary watermelon man, and bow 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 got the watermelon. Was that Chameleon or Watermelon Man? Remember, Travis, you're a jazz guy.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, never mind.
I don't listen to that much jazz.
Okay.
I just like death
one more thing to add about Mac. I think she should choose some better friends. Because the whole movie, all their friends are just like, haha, you're fat, Mac. And then they all laugh at her. And Mac's like, stop calling me fat. And they're like, but you are. And that's like every scene with her.
Yeah, but she owns it. She's like, she has some good comebacks. Like, she's just like, oh, that means I'm going to be healthy, not like you skinny girls or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. She does own it. But also, I was confused maybe once or twice because on who was who, because you just have 7 girls together, and they kind of throw all the characters at you in the beginning of the movie, and so they one of those girls being Mac, and okay, she's the fat one, but like the first couple times she appears on screen, I'm like, she doesn't even. I don't know who's who, because she's not even fatter than the other people. It seems like maybe this is the toxic group of friends we're dealing with, maybe.
Yeah,
except
exactly.
Kung Fu.
Yeah, Kung Fu
is a nice lady.
So is Sweet.
Because she's a sweet gal. You don't like Gorgeous?
Oh no, Gorgeous is sick. Love Gorgeous.
Yeah,
but,
she's dope.
Yeah, she should be named Dope, dude.
Dope. Why don't we get into some of the scenes, some of our favorite scenes?
Nitty gritty.
Yeah.
So my favorite scene is when Melody is playing the soundtrack that's basically just one song, but it's put into different emotional situations throughout, which I think is very effective as well.
Yeah.
How like when it's more exciting.
Great song, by the way.
Yeah, it's great. It gets stuck in my head like for a day after every time I watch it. But they use like a more upbeat synth version of it, and then there's a melancholic version of it. There's like one that's transcribed by an orchestra that sounds more orchestral. But anyway, Melody is playing that on the piano, and then she gets fucking eaten by the piano, and it's the most like spastic visual like scene of someone being eaten I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, the piano strings get all loose and are like trying to freaking eat her up. Also, let me tell you that she started playing that theme because the ant, does she have a formal name, like a legit name that we know of?
The ghost ant.
The ghost ant. She there's like a 5-second scene of her like sneakily. Okay, actually, why was she so sneaky? There's no one else in the room at this time.
Are you talking about when she hides in the fridge?
No, but no. When she goes up to the piano, like opens up the sheet music and looks at the camera and goes like, and puts her first finger up to her mouth like, viewers, like, don't tell.
She's preparing the trap.
Yeah, she's preparing the trap, those sick beats. And so Melody proceeds to play the sick beats and then proceeds to get eaten by the piano.
Yeah, and then her head comes out and she's just like, naughty.
She peeks over at her dismembered body getting clobbered up by the piano. And this sounds horrible, but when you see it, it's just bad visual effects for modern standards, so it's not like scary or anything, but her body's getting eaten up and her head looks over and just says the naughty thing, which I can assume is breaking the fourth wall because she's looking straight at the camera, and and then peers over to her own body and then back to the camera and says a naughty. It's like
it's very meta.
Yeah,
it's meta. That's the word.
To add to that scene, I also liked when she was like first playing and then she lifts up her arms and then her hands are just missing. And then it's just like the fingers like playing each individual note on the piano.
Oh yeah,
thought that was
those
really
effects
well
were
done.
good. Also,
I
loved the I loved the scene where her decapitated fingers are sort of playing the main theme of the movie, and it's sort of juxtaposed with the horrific imagery because it's such a beautiful song. I think that sums up the tones of the movie pretty perfectly. How there's just this beautiful music going on and this horrible stuff happening, but there's also lots of comedy.
There's only like 2 musical themes in the movie. There's like the main one,
there's
and
the
there's like
exciting
the kung fu
theme that's
about to battle.
Yeah,
I looked up on I was trying to find like where I could listen to the soundtrack to the movie, and it wasn't on any like popular streaming services, but it was on it was on like a sketchy YouTube playlist that has like 7 views from 2009 or something. And I was saddened to see that the kung fu theme was not labeled kung fu. I don't exactly remember what it was labeled, but I think it was labeled just like a Hausu main theme or something, or second theme.
That's
instead
fucking
of the kung
bullshit.
fu theme. I know it's kung fu.
It's her goddamn song.
It does not come on unless she's kicking SS. Yeah.
Unless she's kicking like flying cats and shit.
Yeah. So I personally relate to kung fu because she seems to solve all her problems with with some positive, masterful jujitsu energy.
I'm pretty sure it's kung fu.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, some martial. I'm not.
Her
I'm
sister
not
is
with martial
jujitsu.
arts.
So.
Okay,
yeah.
but some karate, taibo energy, So I guess the word is kung fu, but I relate to kung fu so much. She solves her problems by kicking the walls.
Yeah. One
we could all
interpretation I got of the movie was that it seems to be like from the perspective of a child, like how a child's brain will sort of like be enthralled by some things and distracted and like interested in some things but bored by other things. So it sort of moves on very quickly, and it's very ADHD in the visual style. That's sort of like how I felt. Like I felt like I was a child and not able to focus on anything throughout the movie. And a lot of the ideas for the scenes came from Obayashi's daughter, who was 10 years old at the time, and she gave him the idea to do the decapitated head in the well scene, and also she gave him the idea of like, kid. I know, right?
That's hilarious.
Daddy, I drew you a new picture. It's a dead body in the well. It's a really fat girl that loves McDonald's.
Yeah, that is such a unique scenario where the father is actually an experimental filmmaker. So that's the one time where he's like, that's actually some good artwork there.
That's a fair point. Fair point, daughter.
I think she also gave him the idea. I think she also gave him the idea of like, if you looked at yourself in the mirror and your mirror self came out to attack you, wouldn't that be scary? And then he also used that in the film. And that scene is fucking amazing, by the way.
That's also like one of my favorite scenes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when her skin's just breaking apart and then like there's fire instead of skin. She is the mirror.
I don't know how the fuck they did that. I don't know how they did that at all. Because the director
first he built
himself,
a woman out of glass.
But the director himself did all of the special effects because they were offered some good special effects artists, but he said, no, I don't want to make it look convincing. I want to make it look like a film, so I want to do all of it myself. But there's some like really fucking iconic visual fucking frames in this thing, and the fire being one of them. And I don't...
Also, sorry to interrupt. Also, there's the what I was thinking about earlier when I was talking about like the practical effects. I was just thinking about Skeleton Boy with his arms just being pulled up by strings.
Oh yeah, he's dancing.
Yeah,
and it's like that scene. Like I doubt I doubt if there were like a second and third mind in the making of the movie that they would have done the string arms dance. They would have been like that. Yeah. Hey dude, that looks stupid, don't do that. But he knows the what effect it will make and how it properly applies to that scene, and it's funny.
Yeah,
it's like,
and there's some visual stuff. Yeah, there's some visual stuff that's like really fucking, like, I just don't even know how they did it. Also, like the scene where she's getting electrocuted and like the entire room turns like neon yellow and purple and they're just freaking out. Like, I don't know how they did that.
Wait, I don't mean to be completely stupid here, but I'm blanking on that scene right now. When is
it's
that?
When Kung Fu is sticking her head in the chandelier. It's like later in the movie. She sticks her head in the chandelier and she gets electrocuted by it.
Yeah, there was a lot of
it's dope. But I just don't know how they did stuff like that.
Also, it's like I was thinking while watching the movie, for the last, I don't know, with 15 or 10 minutes to go in the movie, where stuff starts to really happen, really happen, even though stuff is happening the whole movie. But at that point, I was thinking like, man, did they build a set like on a swimming pool or something, and like put a bunch of like red lights or something? And I was actually trying to look for like the bottom of a pool, like tiles or something. I didn't see it though.
That was fucking nuts.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that one either.
I think they just must have filled the house set with water. I don't know.
That's got to be the last shot you do.
But there was one scene where Prof is like filling a glass of water and it turns into blood also. So they must have had like some sort of red dye in the water. So I think they might have used just like red water for that scene.
You know what I don't understand? How did they turn a man into bananas? That's what I don't get. Bananas.
So for
do you like watermelon? No, I like bananas.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to go about living life. Like if someone gives you an idea that you're not vibing with, as the Zoomers are saying, you gotta oppose that idea with an idea of your own. You know what I'm saying? It's like don't just deny, but contribute. So he put out watermelon. Mr. Togo didn't like that. He put out bananas, and he was sticking with his guns so much that we'll find out next time on Hausu. He turns into bananas, but so that was something. Okay, I also want to point out that they have that silly English, like it sounds like a. Well, I'm kind of stupid. I was going to say, it sounds like an early 70s rock song, but the freaking movie was like from the 70s. Anyways, but it sounds like just like a classic rock theme for a silly TV show, a kid's TV show or something. and it's just like
it goes
full English American mode for the song at least. And
I love the transition into that scene where the dude is sitting with his daughter and they're just bobbing their head and dancing to the song and everyone's all happy.
Turns into a musical and people in the movie are just enjoying the song so much so that it shows like 4 guys at the train station lip syncing the literal words to the song that's playing. Oh,
there's nobody else but me. There's nobody else but me.
Yeah, you remember that song pretty well. I was trying to remember it, but I couldn't remember it. But dude, for a second there I remembered something else, but I just blanked on it. So next time. But anyways, that was pretty hilarious. Just yet again changing the mood.
Yeah. I really like the fake out ending that they do with Mr. Togo riding on the horse. They come and save the girls.
Oh yeah,
they give that like fake the end message. Yeah.
Sweet's having like a mild panic attack, and then they're like no, Sweet, Mr. Togo is coming. He's coming.
Prince. He's my knight in shining armor.
Yeah. And then she's like, and then she's just like looking off in the distance and just like dreaming about Mr. Togo, and then just complete hard switch into like Mr. Togo literally riding a horse and oh my goodness.
Oh, my lovely princess fantasy.
My lovely princess yeah, dude. I gotta make an album called that. Dude, I had another.
There's a song title for you.
Oh yeah, because my song titles are trash. I can't keep anything. I can't remember any of them. But I remembered Prof. By the way, Prof is one of the girls, which is short for professor, which means a smart person who teaches things. And so her trait is that she's a smart person. And thanks. And I thought it was pretty awesome how I believe when Melody was playing that theme on piano, and the camera is looking at all the girls from like the perspective of like on top of the piano facing the girls as everyone's watching Melody play, and it shifts back and forth from Prof to maybe like Sweet or whatever, and it just shifts back and forth in this conversation, kind of panning back and forth. And I love that it really seemed like that Prof character seemed to know more than she let on. She was like, I'm too scared to say what I think is about to happen. And then what about happened was Hausu, you know what I'm saying? Did that make sense at all, by the way? Did that make sense at all?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, she doesn't like voice her concerns until they're all sitting at the piano, and then her and Kung Fu are just like, I think strange things are happening. That's like the first time they acknowledged any of the weird shit.
You know, besides everyone being like, hey, I feel like there's something weird going on here.
Yeah,
it can't be that many coincidences.
Yeah, it's like Mac's head is found in a well, and then like 7 hours later, you know, like within the movie, 7 hours later, they're like,
Kung Fu gets fucking attacked by wood.
Some weird stuff is going on. Yeah. Did you guys notice everyone's dying, by the way? Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when
4
Mac's
of our
head
friends
first
are
comes
missing.
out, too, the first thing it does is bite Kung Fu's ass. I thought that was a very strange choice.
She likes to eat
for
ass.
Bringing it up. You know what's funny is when you guys suggested this movie to discuss on this day and also 7 days ago, because we're time travelers, I looked it up just quickly on the on Bing. I looked it up on Bing, and I looked on Bing Images, and what came up was that still frame of the movie where Mac's head just kind of eating you know what ass, and
it's the most iconic scene.
It's close to it. I think so. And so I thought that was really funny.
The main frame I usually see from the movie is when Gorgeous, or no, I think it's Kung Fu's head is against that purple backdrop.
Oh yeah.
That's like one of my favorite stills, when her head is just floating around and she's like, "Ooh." I don't remember what context it's in.
That was a beautiful Kung Fu impression as well.
Yeah, that truly is accurate. There's a lot of fun green screen effects going on where to give the impression that someone's dismembered limb is just floating around or something, and they do a great job of it. It's like I was gonna bring up something so stupid, but yeah, just a good job of like just those practical effects.
Yeah, there's points in the movie.
Days, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say these days we got the Avengers and the Marvels and the things,
and the Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, and Mortal Kombat versus Godzilla versus Kong versus Iron Man, and it's so believable that I get bored looking at it. It's like
there's no character in it. There's no flavor.
Yes.
No spice.
Yeah, and that's exactly why the director didn't want a special effects artist to work on it, because he just wanted the movie to have character, and he just wanted it to be a film, not like a convincing thing that you're looking at. And that's what I think serves it really well. Like, there's one sequence where they bump into a chandelier or something, and one of the icicles comes down and stabs a lizard, and and Mac's hat comes off, and and it looks so unconvincing, but it's like it has so much character, and it looks great at the same time because of it.
So was that the first time that Kung Fu's theme appeared? Is right when they entered the house? For that that chandelier break? Dude, so when that happened, I just can't tell you how happy I was, because something just really just there was just an opening straight into my soul, and it's been there ever since, and the gate has then closed. So I probably for the rest of my life, the Kung Fu just immediately doing backflips with jazz fusion in mono, might I add. It's not in stereo music, but it's in mono. The whole movie's in mono, and it's kind of funny. But when she starts doing backflips and then kicks these crystals out of the air, and then hard cut to her landing, and then all the other girls go like, oh yeah, I was
You're
like,
so cool,
yeah,
Kung Fu.
dude. I was clapping with
them. It's not like, oh, watch this crazy shit happening. It's just like, oh, good job. You did it. Yeah. Keep it up. Yeah. That's your name. We should have expected this from you.
Yeah, so I turned it off. I turned off the movie right then and there, and it was great, dude. 10 minutes into it. That's all I needed.
Perfect way to watch the movie.
Yeah.
And I've never seen another movie since that day. Because I know that's where it peaks, and everything's just downhill from there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Dude, I felt that way.
I think this is a really funny movie. I think it's a really funny movie. It's just like how it got made. Because the studio came to him, and he was an advertisement director, which is I don't know if you've seen a Japanese advertisement from the 70s, but it's just really nuts with everything coming in different sides of the frame, which is very heavily utilized
trying to get your attention and all.
Yeah, but they wanted the Japanese equivalent of Jaws because they saw how well Jaws was doing in the US, and he was like, okay, I'll try my absolute best, and he gave them this, and it took forever to get made because they were like, okay, well, we can greenlight this, but we honestly don't know if we can ever commit to it. And it took like really aggressive fan support to just like, I don't know, have the studio agree to start production on it. Like, it was a huge
and it was
ordeal.
like fan support before the movie was even out. It was just like a trailer and like word of mouth.
Damn.
I think it was just him. Cool. I think it was just him walking around handing out business cards that said like, this studio is going to make House, and then everyone started talking about it. And there was sort of like a funding for it, I think.
So I have literally like thought about for my own music, just like in the freaking supermarket, dropping off little QR codes to, taking you straight to like Spotify or iTunes or something, or like dropping little business cards off that say like, newest album, Scott Dunning, something like that. So dude, if that works for I forget the director's name, but if that works for
Nobuhiko Obayashi.
Yes. Then maybe I'll start having to do that, because that's pretty sick.
You should write Grammy Award-winning artist Scott Dunning extravaganza.
Well, that would be literally lying, but maybe what if I wrote...
Lying is good.
Say you're the next upcoming artist, like the biggest...
No, don't write next upcoming, bro. I've already came and I won. I'm the coming artist. Listen to my music.
I'm currently on my way out. So if you want to hit it up, then just hit it up if you want. And I am so selfish for starting to just talk about myself. But I thought it would be funny to mention to you guys that I'm literally like a couple weeks away from finishing my next album. Isn't that the funniest thing ever?
That's pretty sick. Always working.
It doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised, honestly.
Anyway, I just want to bring that up. Is there?
We should just turn our thing into a Scott Dunning podcast with all this music.
I am flexing right now at audience. Anyways, I know what I wanted to mention. In the opening scene, it's so silly because I don't know if it's the opening scene, but within the first few minutes, at Gorgeous's house, her dad and like the dad's like girlfriend, or I guess turning into stepmom or whatever, they're having a conversation. The stepmom and dad in the backyard are having a conversation with that beautiful fake purple and red sky, so vibrant. And
I love the look of that.
And reoccurring throughout the whole movie, which is hilarious and awesome. It's just like permanently sunset. It's awesome. Anyways, they're having their conversation, and I noticed that the stepmom needs to like think deeply about something. So what she does is she turns away from the dad, Gorgeous's dad, and kind of looks off. But instead of looking off into the distance, out to the sky, to the beautiful sunset, she looks towards the camera, and the camera perspective is inside the house. And it's so funny that she's just looking through the window right back in your house.
Yeah.
Just like really considering everything that's being said and really thinking hard.
When there's a beautiful sunset behind her.
I know. She's so oblivious to it. It's probably green screen when she was there, but I just thought that was so funny that like when you want to think deeply about something and look away, you don't just like walk straight up 2 inches away from a wall and just stare into a wall to think about it. It's just like,
I'm gonna force myself to not pay attention to anything. I'm gonna look at this fucking wall. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, so the disrespect, man, on the stepmom.
Yeah, that's a power move, honestly.
Yeah, and then goes to the aunt's house just to not get eaten, to expecting not to get eaten. You know, the disrespect
to
on
become
this
a ghost.
stepmom, dude. Yeah, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Do we have anything more to say about this movie?
I do not have anything more.
Kung Fu is awesome. Purple Sky is awesome.
Yes.
Dancing Skeleton is awesome. Sweet gets stuck in the clock with a lot of goo. That's pretty. Any thoughts on that? But the gooey clock.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? Or does that summarize it? Do you hear me?
No, that pretty much gets
I think those are the highlights. Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, sorry. I thought.
Yeah.
I thought you guys. I thought my phone was dying on me or something because it seems still. Okay, wait. Well, what else?
I think there's a quick lag session there, but I think we're okay now.
Okay, sick. I also enjoyed the train scene. The train scene when they were getting on the train to go to Anne's house originally. All those people on the train were just like the most stereotypical versions of those people. Like they had a couple nuns just like in the middle of praying because like, okay, that's all nuns do, I guess. Was that a scene? Did that happen?
Yeah, that was a scene.
That's a scene.
I liked on the train when they showed the child reading a book that had a train on it, and they zoomed in, and then the entire scene shifted into 2D animation. And then they had like half 3D, half 2D. Like all the backgrounds were a cartoon, and they were in live action.
It's hard to
That's
remember
also
everything
something
that
I liked.
goes on in this movie. It's just always
it's so
110.
Dense.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite directors now, I think.
Does he have any?
One of my favorite Japanese directors.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there. Does he have any other well-known movies?
Not well-known, but he has a lot of other movies, and I'm excited to check them out because I heard that there's a lot more to enjoy about this director other than Hausu. And there's one movie I want to get on Blu-ray really badly called Hanagatami, which is what he wanted to be his first feature, but he didn't make it until 2017, which is...
Yeah, wasn't it his
40
last
or 50 years after... Actually, it wasn't. He made one in 2019 as well. But he made it like 40 years after his first feature, and he wanted it to be his first film. So I'm very excited to check it out. Apparently his other movies have a very similar comedic visual style to Hausu, which I can really get down with.
That's crazy. So did he pass away recently, do you know?
2019 he died.
I was right.
Okay.
I'm right about the dead people.
Oh no. You must have visited Hausu. That's too bad. Well, I respect the darn guy and his work, and it makes sense that he was like making those Japanese advertisements, just like trying to get your attention as much as possible every second.
Yes.
Man, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Do we want to end on an off-topic, silly question that I have prepared for us all?
Yeah, we can do a quick little off-topic.
Actually,
silly question.
let's do ratings. We usually rate them out of 10.
Oh.
I would give it like an 8 out of 10. It's one of my favorite Japanese movies.
Nice.
I would also give it an 8 out of 10. It's very fun. I've seen it like 4 times in 6 months, so.
I've seen it 5 times in 6 months.
Okay, this isn't a contest, Bruno. Okay?
I saw it, well, I saw the first 10 minutes and then stopped watching. But I saw it.
Yeah. Scott's a real fan.
So this actually brings up a funny point. When COVID started, and I will get to my rating, but when COVID started, my friends wanted to just have something entertaining to think about, rather than getting caught up in the news and stuff. So within a few guys and myself, we started exchanging albums just for the other people to listen to. Not exchanging, but just telling people like, oh, this is a good album by this artist, you should hit that up. And everyone would have an album to contribute each week, and at the end of the week we would talk about the albums.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
Only we're recording
that's sick. Yeah, you're being very official about it, and I like it. But there's I realized about myself that I can get pretty triggered at other people's opinions, and so okay, hear me out. Rather than rating it on a scale of like 1 to 10, and talking about the quality of it and the quality of it all, what I think about most is, was I excited by the darn thing? Was I just hyped? And dude, when Kung Fu started doing those flips and freaking Jazz Fusion came on, that's when I knew it was a 10 out of 10 excitement scale for myself. And so I'll give it the 10 out of 10 on excitement.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I honestly don't I would really struggle figuring out my opinion on like in terms of quality and story writing and stuff like that. But
would you say it's your favorite movie now?
What'd you say, Travis?
Would you say it's your favorite movie now?
Dude, it's very well could be. Very well could be my favorite movie. At least at this moment, I'm thinking about it a lot, and just gets me hyped. You know, it's another movie that I think maybe one of my top favorites is Nosferatu. No, I'm just kidding. Is Witch or
The Bitch?
The Bitch?
Yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah, I also love that one.
Dude, that movie, when I first saw that, I had seen nothing else like it, and just no other movie has matched the just the feel and the essence.
Yeah,
you know?
the pure dread and depression. Where's my baby? Yeah. My daughter must have eaten it because she's a witch.
I'm assuming you've seen the
What
Lighthouse,
are we going to do with her?
Anyway.
I'm assuming you've seen The Lighthouse then.
I have. Lighthouse was so crazy and made me feel claustrophobic because it was a freaking square.
Yeah,
but,
I love The Witch, but I also feel like I prefer The Lighthouse a lot more because I think it improves on
I get that.
the director's style a lot.
That's fair. But are we done with our house discussion before we just start talking about The Lighthouse?
Yeah.
Sure.
We can be done with it.
All right. Scott, did you have like a silly question?
The silly question was just so stupid. That's why I had to preface it by saying silly. I
want the silly.
I want the silly.
I want the silly.
Give us your silly.
Well, I literally, just more on a personal level, literally, what did you do today before, did you do anything notable? I don't know. Is that too silly for you? I don't know.
Well,
am I here?
I texted a girl and watched Netflix, and that was my whole day.
Oh,
so Travis might have a more interesting day.
That's a dope day.
Dude, that's a dope day. Yeah.
It's a dope day.
That's a kick-ass day, dude.
I didn't have work today. It feels good.
Yeah, and I see you're drinking a Gatorade that is that kind of the light yellow flavor, which is a very unique
do you mean
flavor.
lemon lime? Yeah, lemon lime.
You know what's funny is I was about to call it lime, but it's kind of yellowish, so I almost called it lemon, but it's too green, so I didn't know what to call
both.
it.
But it's lemon and lime, dude. It's like the Sprite of Gatorades.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's sick. Well, did you drink any cool beverages today, Travis?
I didn't drink any cool beverages, but I did have work at the movie theater.
Nice.
And one thing exciting that I did do is I had a break where we didn't need to really do anything, and I watched the Tom and Jerry movie because I sneaked into the theater, and
then he
that
illegally
was not
sent
good.
me videos of it. He illegally sent me videos of the Tom and Jerry. If I would have downloaded them, I could have uploaded them to the Pirate Bay, made millions.
Oh man!
Yeah, and Michael Pena is in it. Fucking Michael Pena is in it, and Chloe Grace Moretz, and Ken Jeong from Community is in it.
Oh yeah,
it's a really stellar cast. But not a good movie.
No, does not look it.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on it. Do you guys have any thoughts on the new Mortal Kombat movie? Is that like trash or is that amazing?
I haven't seen it yet.
I've seen 30 minutes of it, and it was so trash that I turned it off.
Oh,
you turned off the movie at the movie theater?
No, I watched it on HBO Max.
Oh, I thought you just
the movie theater. He went up to the projector room and he brought his hammer and he just started smashing.
Yeah, quote unquote turned it off. Yeah. No, I thought you just had some big lever at the movie theater, like, and then.
I wish I had a lever. It would make it a lot more satisfying when I'm watching bad movies at the theater to be like, no more of this, and fucking just turn it off. But yeah, I hated it.
That's funny. I think
it's sort of like, do you have any connection to the Mortal Kombat universe or like the characters at all?
Yeah. Scorpion's my second cousin.
Oh shit! Yeah,
that's crazy.
So you must be Sub-Zero.
All right. Before we start shit posting too hard, is that the episode for the week?
Yeah, that's the episode.
All right. Thank you for enjoying the latest episode of Bruno and Big Mouth. You can find Scott Dunning's music at scottdunningextravaganza.bandcamp.com or on Spotify under Scott Dunning. You right, Scott Dunning?
Up.
Yeah, that's about
Listen
right.
to his album, Stunt, Tactile Strike and Submerge.
Oh, thank you for remembering that difficult sort of onomatopoeia of an album title. I will promise a more memorable title on this next album. All right, thank you guys.
It's memorable for me. It's dope.
All right.
Next week, we're talking about Oingo Boingo, the first album, and the movie I Saw the Devil.
Yeah, listen and watch if you want to be a part of the discussion.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, later.
Bye.
Get the fuck out of here. Bye-bye.
Yeah. I stopped recording.